Later that same evening.
You seem stressed that you got to be acting that way. Talk about our bromance. I feel good. Those Joe Biden shoulder massages, they're like magic.
And I am absolutely certain, 100% certain, that at the end of the investigation, that I will be cleared of any wrongdoing.
Because you know, oh, I got bank. I don't have to show you how much I got. You probably are not going to be wearing an 8-pound chain around your neck.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Leo Zagami Show. How are you, Christy?
Hi, everyone.
I heard you just published a new book, a cookery book.
Yeah, I did it today. I published my cookbook today. It's available on Kindle and paperback.
On Amazon.
You have a link.
Yeah, we're gonna show the link, everything. Don't worry.
Okay, it's called Zagami Family Cookbook.
Okay, let me show it. Let me show it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. Last weekend, at Biden's before is going to be forced out of the presidential race. You will hear all about it and much more today here at the Leo Zagami Show. Christy, this is exciting times. 1 week after Trump was nearly assassinated, he was really in great shape today in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're going to also see a bit more about him. But first of all, guys, we were talking about a cookery book that's going to enter the history of the Zagami family, because this is our first cookery book. I mean, we have been publishing all kinds of books in my family. Me, my father, my grandfather, on both sides of the family, my grandmother, but we never published a cookery book. Why did you?
Nobody cooked?
No.
I'm the first one that cooked?
No. They all cooked, but you were the first ones to really codify the secrets of the Illuminati cooking, because at one point there is even an Illuminati pasta.
Yeah, there is. There's Leo's Illuminati pasta.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's Leo Illuminati pasta. Here we go.
If you don't like pasta, don't get this book, because it's full of pasta.
So. It's full of pasta. Here is the link, which of course I'm gonna put also in the comment board, so people of course can maybe get it. But first of all, the title of this book, Zagami Family Cookbook, Authentic Italian Cooking.
Authentic Italian Cooking.
Tell us more about it.
It's just a collection of my my recipes, because I really learned how to make pizza and pasta this past year. I knew how to cook before that. I made all kinds of stuff, but I didn't know how to make pizza and pasta. And so I made pizza and pasta, and I was really excited to have that in the book.
Okay, let's say this. Christy made after she came to Italy in 2009 to live with me, she learned how to make pasta sauces. But when she's talking about making pasta, she's talking about fresh pasta.
Yeah.
However, this book is also open to people who don't want to make fresh pasta and simply want to learn about the sauces. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to make pasta. You can always just, have a fresh pasta or store-bought pasta. Actually, it's all store-bought. So if you don't make it, it's store-bought. So, so any one of my recipes can be adapted to somebody who doesn't make pasta or pizza. Because it's hard to make pasta and pizza, but I make it easy because I have all the steps in my cookbook, and you won't make any mistakes like I did. I made a lot of mistakes. I followed a lot of recipes that didn't work out, and so I had to search for the right recipe. And so, like, for my pizza, like, I made 2 pizzas today, and they came out perfect, and I have to do them really quick because on Saturday we're really busy. So, so I mean, I can make.
I notice a little bit of shadows here, and maybe we can get
Why is it so hot in here?
Well, we have 115 outside the door.
It's so hot, and I feel it. And I'm wearing a sweater dress.
You're feeling it.
Dumb.
This book is divided in various sections. Christy, the sections. Talk to us about the sections of this book.
Okay. There's chapter 1, and it's appetite bread. Gosh, you put me on the spot. I can't remember now.
Okay, first of all, let's mention the sponsors of today's broadcast. We're gonna come back to the book. This book, though, is important, guys, because if you want to eat what Leo Zagami has been in the best restaurants in the world, and so Christy's cooking had to be at the level. She came, but that's the truth. That's the truth. When you came to Italy,
I knew how to cook when I came there.
Yes, but you didn't know about Italian cooking. So
I made Brooklyn cooking.
Okay, but it's different, and that's also something you explain in this book. Yeah. You explain how you learned through Italian cuisine, and in the end, Christy mastered it, guys, and she's better than me. I mean, when she came to Italy, she couldn't master a sauce.
What?
You didn't know how to make your own.
I didn't know how to make it, but then it's very, 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 very easy.
Well, you learned it, though.
But it's not hard to learn. You just showed me one time. You even showed Tony how to make pasta.
Yes, that's right. He showed us how to make pasta. Okay, guys, let's thank the sponsors of today's show. We are back on X by popular demand. We have finally achieved a blue mark checked official account on X. It's a premium account. Of course, we had to purchase, but then we were verified and everything went well. I must say, Elon Musk in 24 hours got us the blue check mark. So that was great and very quick. There is actually still an old Leo Zagami profile, which has more followers, which is still frozen in time in the summer of 2020, when Twitter was still in the hands of the lefties. Now is of course called X. So we are broadcasting the first part of this show on Facebook, YouTube, but the second part of this show, it's exclusively broadcast on X and Rumble. We are still broadcasting now on X and Rumble, also the first part of the show, but the second part is exclusively on X and Rumble. And who are the sponsors of today, Christy, who made possible also this amplifying, let's say, the Leo Zagami show with more channels, more platforms.
It all costs money.
It all costs money, as well as the air conditioning, the lighting, and everything else we put together, hours and hours of work to offer you today an incredible show, guys. Trust me, an incredible show. So, Christy, who are the sponsors?
Okay, so we have Kay Van Fathy, and we have David R. Kammerer. Thank you so much. And I hope I'm saying that right. Kammerer. That's right, Kammerer.
And Bruce Kodish
and Malgarizada Minta.
Okay,
thank you, Malgarizada. You always donate every week. I always see you on there, and God bless you for donating. And thank you everybody who bought the books, and thank you everybody who's here watching, and put a like and share, and let's get started.
Okay, let's get started, guys, because they're saying that basically Biden is going to announce finally his leaving of the presidential race between Wednesday and Thursday. He actually wants to wait until he probably meets Netanyahu, and then he's going to announce it. I mean, it's obviously a very complex situation at the moment. He's very angry. He's angry with all the people who apparently have betrayed him. He accused Obama, who also want him out, to be the master manipulator, like we always said.
You said that?
Yes. I mean, it seems like that is the latest news. He's there in Delaware, all angry. And of course, we have the supposed successor who is eating ice cream, Kamala Harris. Now, I don't understand.
I heard
if
some good music there.
I don't understand regarding the new music, I don't know really. We will have to listen probably to more of it to judge it. In any case, does she think she can gain votes just simply by going and getting an ice cream like Joe Biden? I mean, Joe Biden is the ice cream man par excellence. Of course, she wants to pick up the inheritance, let's say, of Joe Biden, but there is also a lot of voices of dissent within the party. We're going to hear also Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who doesn't agree and says that many Democrats don't agree with the choice of Kamala Harris.
Madam Vice President, what will you say to Democratic voters this afternoon? Madam Vice President, what will you say to Democratic voters this afternoon? Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, let's get you. Aaron.
People who read the tea leaves would take a look at this and say the current president spends an awful lot of time in ice cream shops. Is this an indication that we are looking at his possible replacement here, at least from the ice cream calculus?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. Start waiting out, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so what prize do you want in the chocolate part? Do you want the cookie one or the... Thank you. Thank you. Go with the water.
I'm not even so close. These guys' hands full.
And that's the end of the ice cream photo op. So let's let Sandra jump in here.
Well, no, I'm thinking, think about this moment, right? Well, first of all, we're all like dying for some ice cream after seeing what looks like some pretty delicious ice cream. But on the other hand, you think about this moment. You've got donors meeting behind closed doors, scrambling. You've got Democrats in chaos, 20 of them now, including prominent Democrats calling for Joe Biden to step out of this race, and Kamala Harris is getting ice cream.
Yes. And Kamala Harris is getting ice cream while we had the return of Donald J. Trump after dodging a bullet and saving his life. And of course, I think one of the best posts of the day regarding this was Elon Musk. Elon Musk, because he actually said this is probably one of the best AI productions I recently seen. And it's based on the film Matrix and shows, of course, a very different kind of Trump. But Trump, I think in the last week has entered really the legend, has entered a different level of his status has grown up a lot. Guys, his status has grown up.
He dodged the bullet.
I'm not the only one saying it. Yes, I'm not the only one saying it. Even Mark Zuckerberg is saying it.
Past, I'm not planning on doing that this time, and that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, I mean, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I mean, the historic events over the weekend, and I mean, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, I mean, it's...
So while he's saying that, Elon Musk posted directly a video where basically Trump mimics Matrix. So let's finish to seeing Mark Zuckerberg, and then we move on to Elon Musk.
And I think, look, at some level as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
Okay, so this is a bit unusual. Mark Zuckerberg was the guy who, after January 6th, didn't even permit mention of the name Donald J. Trump, he will ban you from his platform. He is a guy who really made it hard for the MAGA movement after January 6th, but it seems he has changed a lot. I mean, it's not at the level of Elon Musk, but definitely this is an unusual turn. Don't you think, Christy?
Oh, yeah. You told me that today. I was really surprised.
Good. Yeah, it's pretty shocking, you know? And then at the same time, like,
It doesn't really fit into their narrative. So.
Well, he's saying that he's not giving money this time. He gave 500 million the last time. So the Democrats are suffering already a lot because all their finances, the sponsors, the people who donate to the Democratic Party are basically saying, we are not going to donate if Joe Biden stays on top of the ticket. And now, like I just said earlier, there is even some people who say they don't want Kamala. So it's going to be, I think there's going to be a big struggle. Let's see in the meantime what Elon Musk posted today on X. Trump Matrix.
He is the one.
Of course, it can get out of control, this cult of personality around Donald J. Trump. But it's well deserved. I mean, he definitely dodged the bullet a week ago. And
we all were together here when it was happening. We broke the news.
We broke the news, and we really didn't know what was happening. The first news was coming in. We tried to just report on what was coming in. Of course, now we know a lot more about this guy.
It wasn't that Italian guy.
It wasn't the Italian guy, but possibly there was a second shooter. However, the main guy who tried to kill Donald J. Trump is a guy with a lot of problems, and he's a son of a psychologist. And the mother is, of course, a Democrat. The father also. They're both Democrats. But at the same time, they bought this AR-15, who was...
Isn't that weird?
His father's...
Isn't that kind of weird?
It's kind of weird. It's all very weird, and I'm sure that we want to be talking about it for a long time. Certain elements resemble a little bit what happened with JFK. So no wonder there was also a phone call later on with the independent candidate from the Kennedy party, a phone call that was recorded and then made public. But in all this, we had a period of a few days in which the mainstream media, the leftist mainstream media, kind of cooled down, at least until the last day of the convention in Milwaukee. Then they started again with all that bullshit. And
unless you watch Piers Morgan, then you heard it, because he was doing interviews with people when right after that happened, and people were just still saying rotten things. He just had gotten shot, and they were just saying rotten things.
But there was a more moderate tone
from the media,
from a lot of people. Definitely, Piers Morgan likes to create a bit of dissent on his show as part of his format. But having said that, most of the mainstream media stayed quiet until Thursday, and then they started again with all their usual bullshit, accusing Trump of being this and that. However, we are here to discuss, of course, Biden. This is the last weekend, probably, of his bid for the presidency. And DeSantis said America cannot afford 4 more years of a weekend at Bernie's presidency.
We need a commander-in-chief who can lead 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. America cannot afford 4 more years of a weekend at Bernie's presidency.
Trump was very gracious. I must say, he mentioned only once Biden. He said, I mentioned only once Biden, and that was it. But this wasn't enough for the leftist media. There was also a strong message of unity towards all Americans, of all colors, of all creeds, of all races. I think that was great.
He said he's not, he doesn't want to be president of half America. He wants to be president of all America. I thought that was good.
Now, I would like to show you what I personally feel the more touching moments of this convention. Before going back to Biden, because there is a lot to discuss about Biden's crisis, I want to show you these touching moments. I think they are the more touching moments of the whole event that took place in Milwaukee. One of these moments was, of course, when Trump's little granddaughter climbed on him. I found that was one of the touching moments. Then we had also other touching moments like J.D. Vance, who honored his mother's struggle during the RNC speech. Now, I just saw the movie Hillbilly Elegy.
Hillbilly.
Yes, Hillbilly, which is based on his book. And I think, aside from Ron Howard, aside from what you can think about Ron Howard and his movie on Netflix, of course, which is a platform of the devil and the mainstream, I think that actually the movie in itself was dedicated to the life of somebody who it's an everyday American who really climbed the ladder to get where he is now through a lot of difficulties. So I think
a lot of people I could relate to him, because like when I was 13, I wasn't living with my parents. I was also living with my grandmother, and it was also a hard time for me. And then he showed that in the movie, that he was living with his grandma, because his mother was addicted to opioids, and then further on she got addicted to heroin. And so but it's really a touching movie. I would recommend it. And then you get to see, because I didn't know anything about J.D. Vance at all, and so I watched it, and you really you understand him and his struggle, and he must have really fought hard to get where he is now. Absolutely. And he has a lot of God inside of him to take that trauma that he went through, instead of taking that trauma. And I know that, like, I watch shows like Intervention, where their trauma led them to drug addiction, but he took his trauma and he led it to something where he could empower himself to be a better person. And I thought that was really great. So.
Absolutely. Let's see the moment in which J.D. Vance honors his mother.
About single moms like mine who struggled with money and addiction but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here, 10 years clean and sober. I love you, Mom. And you know, Mom, I was thinking it'll be 10 years officially in January of 2025. And if President Trump's okay with it, let's have the celebration in the White House.
She had this addiction, and so the movie is really based on how he actually helps the mother through this addiction, through these moments of great pain. It is a real American story of pain and suffering with a happy ending. Of course, the movie doesn't end up with J.D. Vance becoming a Republican senator or becoming, hopefully soon, vice president, but it is a movie I suggest you watch so you understand more about J.D. Vance. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. A way of supporting us is, of course, purchasing Christie's latest book or my latest book. It's not this one, actually. This is the Italian one. This is the book you should be getting if you didn't get it already, volume 9. Volume 9
That's
is
10.
Oh, sorry, volume 10. Sorry, volume 10. Yes, volume 10. Yes. Sorry, guys. I'm not Biden. Not Biden. Did I get it wrong?
Yes.
Oh. Then let's see what happens. Weekend at Biden's. I mean, it can happen, guys. It can happen to anybody. But it's volume 10. My latest book, dedicated, of course, to Islamic Freemasonry and the secret society behind the eternal conflict in the Middle East, a conflict that since yesterday and today has widened up because the Houthis launched a drone that created a lot of damage in Israel, and the reaction from Israel came today. They bombed the Houthis. The Houthis, of course, now are like, Israel bombed us. Well, you've been bombing everyone. You assaulted all the ships passing through that part of the Red Sea, so don't complain. I mean, the Houthis are the worst scumbags on earth. They are terrorists. They are financed by Iran. The Houthis are the ones which now will pay the consequences because, you know, Israel doesn't really forgive and forget. Yemen, raid and explosions today in Al Odeida.
الله اليوم باتح الإسرائيل
بري حرام محلقين.
So if the Houthis thought they could launch something launch something against Israel and get away with it, well, now they know that's not the case. But this, of course, will widen up the war in the Middle East. So if you want to know more about the war in the Middle East, volume 10 of my Confessions is the book you should get to learn also all the secrets behind Iran, behind their connection with Palestine, of course, and with Hamas, Hezbollah, and so on. Even if Hamas, for example, is Sunni, Hezbollah is Shiite, as well as the Houthis, who are Shiites. And Shia Islam is a very particular branch of Islam. It's the second most important branch of Islam. And I wanted to really teach in my book all the secrets regarding this branch of Islam. This book makes it finally easy for the average Western person who knows nothing about Islam to finally understand all the secrets of Islam, even more than a Muslim. So it's definitely a book that it's a book that got only 5-star reviews, even from Sufis, which I'm critical of in the book. So it's quite incredible. Thank you for the people who purchase my books, and thank you also for the people who will purchase Christie's book, the cookery book, which we have just launched today, which I strongly advise you to get if you finally want to taste the same kind of food that Leo Zagami is every day, because little Zagami likes to eat like a king.
They let you read the whole introduction on
Yes.
Amazon.
So you
on
can
the Kindle part. So
you can read the sample here.
read
You
the
can
whole
go.
sample.
You can go on the
And then-
sample.
and there's a couple of recipes also.
So you can read the sample. Here is the introduction we just mentioned, and people can go through the introduction. They can go, of course, through some of the photos of the recipes. There is also some international recipes aside from the Italian ones, no?
There's not that many though. They're mostly Italian recipes. So there are things that
Arancini, Sicilian rice balls. Wow. Well, all this makes me, of course,
it's all really, really yummy stuff.
It's all very yummy stuff. Let's move forward with more news. Trump, like I said, was back in action today in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And when you arrive to influence even the children in Africa, in a remote village, who mimic the assassination attempt against you, well, you have reached a new stage. You are a legend. You're more than a legend.
Donald.
They call him Donald in
Donald.
Africa. Check this out, guys. It doesn't want to be disrespectful because we know what happened last week is a very serious affair, and we hope that sooner or later the people responsible behind this thing, because there is people responsible behind what happened. There was a lack of security, and apparently there is much more, and we're going to be discussing it soon. But check this out from a little village in Africa, in the third world.
They said, take a look at what happened.
I mean, it's crazy that, I mean, you can arrive to influence a country that is well, soon. In the second part of the show, we're gonna also talk about the great
the Hulkster. I love him.
as you call him. Biden is, of course, the subject of today's show. And Biden is having some serious problem, guys, with Obama now moving and pulling the strings, like we already said for the last few weeks, but now is really, I mean, now there is, there is tension in the White House.
Is this for real, or are they just playing a game?
No. This is for you. This is for you. Obama and Biden have fallen out.
I don't believe anything they say.
Vulnerable Democrats are now calling on Biden to drop out of the race, fearing his support will affect them in their hotly contested down-ballot races. So let's take a look at who's pulling back from Joe Biden. These are the 34 congressional Democrats who have joined those calls, some of the most notable being Congressman Adam Schiff of California recently calling for Joe Biden to step aside. Also, Montana Senator John Tester yesterday, and vulnerable Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown announced that he wants to see the end of the campaign for Joe Biden as president. Now, these are some of the Democrats who haven't yet joined those colleagues, but they could make a huge difference in the landscape given how competitive their re-election bids are. We're watching Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey, Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin, and Nevada Senator Jackie Rosen. All major swing state Democrats, and they would need to win in those states to secure the White House in November, both to maintain control of the Senate, try to win the House, and to win the White House. Let's bring in Rich Lowry, editor-in-chief of National Review, to join us now. Rich, good morning. Thanks for getting up early with us this morning. You know, I'm cataloging all these Democrats, Rich, that are starting to put their name on the list of those against Joe Biden. Do you think there's a breaking point? Is there one particular congressional Democrat that could make or break this decision for Joe Biden?
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. I think she's been the main driver here when it seemed as though Biden had stanched the bleeding a couple days after the debate by just saying, I'm not going, the elite's against me, forget it. She said, well, he hasn't decided yet, right? Which was her saying, you know what, Mr. President, you haven't decided until I decide that you've decided. So I think she kept this open. I think she's pushing it. I think she realizes he's a disaster. And the stages are, Will, first they went Schumer, Pelosi, Jeffries privately to Biden and basically told him to go. Then they leaked. When he didn't go, then they leaked that they told him to go. And the next step is one of them going public. And that's when it really may be unsustainable. But I would expect, the frontline Democrats that you're talking about, all those dominoes seem to be falling. I mean, it's very notable. Sherrod Brown, no one's fool. You got to be pretty shrewd Democrat to survive in Ohio now, saying, look, Joe, this just isn't sustainable.
Well, Rich, even if Pelosi or Schumer or Jeffries goes public, that's the next card to play. And then reports are that Barack Obama is doing things behind the scenes. I think the question becomes, though, even with all of that, Rich, is it enough? Because it is Joe Biden's call. The reports are he gets sort of his hackles up. He gets upset if you push him. So can he withstand all this pressure?
I mean, if he wants to, in theory, yes, right? I mean, there's no lever. You can just say no. But this is a big game of chicken, and has been since the debate, Will.
I did. A big game of chicken. This guy is totally confused. When he opens his mouth, he's completely demented. He's not playing a game of chicken. He is the chicken.
Yes, I do.
Do you still have faith in the Secret Service, Mr. President?
Yes, I do.
What do you
So he trusts the Secret Service. Of course, he's the one who has worked behind the scenes with the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Secret Service, and every single federal agency to fight Donald J. Trump. Here, guys, I want to show you a video from 2017 from Schumer. Why? Because this video is very important in understanding where we are now. Now we are in a very bad place. Very good place for the Republicans, of course, for Trump, but a very bad place for America, because what happened last week needs to be understood, and the people responsible for it need to be investigated, and they need to be fired, if not even arrested. I mean, guys, this is a plot that was put together in the last few years and unleashed last week.
Why did they do it?
Democrat Schumer threatened President Trump in 2017, saying that the intelligence agencies will take revenge against him.
Let me ask you, I don't know if you have seen this. I don't want to blindside you with this. This is the latest statement, latest tweet, as you were just saying, the president-elect's latest unsolicited pronouncement on the intelligence community. This was his tweet just a little while ago tonight. You see the scare quotes there. The intelligence briefing on so-called Russian hacking was delayed until Friday. Perhaps more time needed to build a case. Very strange. We're actually told, intelligence sources tell NBC News since this tweet has been posted, that actually this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
This is an indicator of what might have happened the last week, because last week it was a complete failure of the intelligence community. Guys, the shooter had a drone he was flying around. Why didn't they scramble the drones like they do at the Vatican? Why did they permit the shooter to fly around the drone and map the whole area without then intercepting him and arresting him immediately? They let this guy get away almost with the murder of the president. He killed somebody.
I mean, it was just by the grace of God that Trump made it. He should be gone right now. You know,
And
it's
Chuck
really-
Schumer, who is now one of the people who wants Biden out of the White House, of the presidential race, is definitely somebody who said something very indicative back then in 2017 about what could happen to Donald J. Trump.
So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know,
to?
but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
What do you think the intelligence community would do?
What they will not do. So this is pretty incredible that, I mean, they were very open about it. They didn't really hide the fact that Trump might become a victim of this deep state, which, of course, the intelligence community is part of. Biden, it's a guy who, of course, has not been running the White House in the last few years. Obama and other people have been running the White House in the last few years, but suddenly they want him out. They want him out because they realize that he's not able. I mean, they're not able to hide the weekend at Bernie's. Is a weekend at Bernie's. It's not like 4 years at Bernie's. And another 4 years with Bernie's is impossible. It's impossible for them. Trust me.
Swim with the fishes, you zombie bastard! It's doing good. He's doing good. Go, B.
The only guy that made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from it.
He's gotta be rich. I dumped him here myself.
Well, where is he?
What are you doing?
What do you want?
Hey, you little brat!
what are you doing?
What are you
Get out of
doing? Hey, get out of there, kid! What the hell are you doing? You can't.
Good thing for you, you're dead, pal. I actually felt sorry for you, you rat shit.
Guess what? Bidenomics has worked.
Remember, it was a weekend at Bernie's. It wasn't 4 years with Bernie's in these conditions. We are nearly reaching the end of the first part of the show, which means that soon we're going to abandon Facebook and YouTube, and you can find us only on X or Rumble. Remember that X now is one of the main platforms for the Leo Zagami show, especially because we have received the blue check mark. We are now there officially. And then we have, of course, Rumble, which has been providing us with a lot of new people who are following us. So that's very, very good. Please share this video. Share this video, put like, support us if you want by purchasing one of our books or by donating with GoFundMe or with Cash App. You can find the Cash App handle at leozagami.com together with all my latest articles. And now let's move on with this last weekend at Biden's, because it is the last weekend for Biden. The well-informed know that Biden is going to resign within this week. Mark my word. If it doesn't happen, then, I mean, it would be way too easy for Donald J. Trump to win. He's going to win anyway. They could put anybody. They could resuscitate JFK, and he will not manage to win Donald J. Trump after what happened last week. Because what happened last week, like I said, brought him to a new level, a new status. And today he was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with a crowd that was really, I mean, check out the queue to get inside Trump's event today in Michigan.
mean, I have it on. About right behind us. Well, I rode with flags, my dirt bike and stuff. In Canada, too.
24 bucks, $5.
Nice.
Oh, really? Well,
One on the other side.
got the whole lot in it.
Sold some shagger too.
A clipboard. You have a clipboard.
Gotta be able to say did that right?
Wait a second.
Yeah, this is Gillespie.
Great time.
They're probably gonna pack us.
It never ends, this queue. It never ends. Incredible. I don't think that anybody will queue to watch Joe Biden. That's why Joe Biden is on his way out. And like we said, this is the last weekend, a lot of tension, a lot of drama apparently at the White House. This is unprecedented in American history, to tell you the truth. That's why they needed to be a little bit of a strategy of attention, means bringing the attention somewhere else. And suddenly we have this this CrowdStrike problem with all the systems, Microsoft, this bug on an update that blocks everything, a major global IT crash that created problems for banks, for people traveling. Imagine a lot of people, a lot of Trumpians stuck in Milwaukee at the airport because of what happened. Is it a coincidence? Of course, it's not a coincidence. Microsoft, it's Microsoft. CrowdStrike is actually the company behind the Russia hacked email scandal that offered no evidence during the investigation against Trump. And they are the ones behind the IT outages. So what kind of coincidence? I mean, CrowdStrike finances, sponsors, donates to the Democrat Party. I mean, it seems a little bit strange that suddenly we have this coincidental major global IT crash. However, we always have the Italians. The Italians like to sing. The Italians like to dance. The Italians like to eat. And so the airport of Palermo in Sicily became a different kind of place today, because the international crisis brought, of course, also the Italian airports at the full still. There was no airports that could function anymore because there was no planes. So the Italians decided to party in the airport with a piano and with a singer singing. In a major crisis, they're going to eat their part and they're going to sing their song, even in an international airport. This is what happened.
Where did they get the piano?
The Americans were panicking. Everybody was panicking. Of course, there's no planes flying. Everybody at the airports is like, huh? In Italy, that's what's happening. I mean, at times, you know, the
They
Italian...
do sing a lot though over there.
They sing a lot over there. Okay,
People are singing from windows. People are singing in the streets.
Yes, that seems in a major crisis, the Italians start singing, just like they did during the pandemic.
They were singing in the pandemic too.
That's what happens with the Italians. Okay, I see you if you tune in on X and Rumble for the second part of the show. After our own music, of course, from Italy, it's the music of the maker of these wonderful covers for all my books. I include also, I was talking about volume 9. Let me show volume 9. This is volume 9. Okay. And they're all made by Vincenzo Viceversa, who made the tune that we use as, to separate the first part of the show the second part of the show. I hope you will all tune in for the second part of the show on X and Rumble, and we see you soon. Leo and Christy.
In that time, our world has taken so many steps in the wrong direction. Negative utopia, science, technology, social organization, dehumanization. In the negative utopia, science, technology, social organization.
Find the link to the Rumble channel of Leo Zagami in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook, or simply go on Rumble and put Leo Zagami, or go on X and put Leo Lion Zagami at Ordo Universalis, and you will find us. Don't worry.
Science, technology, social organization, dehumanization.
By our friend Albert, the music by Vincenzo Viceversa. This is the Leo Zagami Show, entering part 2.